concern about finishing teams off.
Yeah, especially with the starts. We've been pretty, I'd say pretty, concentration at the start, you know, losing goals, starting slowly. And then that kind of like feeds into, when you get into the latter stages of the game, the nerves the nerves I feel, you know, you're getting messages from the stadium all the time and they're feeling the same thing. They're feeling like, oh no, we should have taken some of those chances. We need to be a bit more ruthless earlier on in the game so as we can maybe relax a little bit more at this stage. And you felt it again in today's game. Man United had a spell and then, you know, Garnacho scores the offside goal where I was feeling like was coming. And I think that he knows that as well, because that's in most of the games we're playing at the minute. So just wants us to be a bit more ruthless, and I think that will come. Hopefully it will come. OK, well, Manchester United, of course, have been to North London twice already this season and lost twice. Here's what their manager thinks of today, ERIK ten Hag.
On 88 minutes, you have every reason to think you've just won the game. And 10 minutes later, you've lost it.
It was not my thought in that moment that we won the game, because then still was 10 minutes to go. But yeah, it could have been, and I think also we deserved to win this game. But yeah, you don't always get what you deserve.
The goal, the Arsenal's second goal, did you feel there might have been a foul on Johnny Evans as the corner came into Declan Rice? It seemed like Evans might have been blocked off a little bit, and therefore it flicks him and hits the post and goes in. Was that your thought?
You're making the point. Absolutely. And yeah, can't be that this goal is given, especially not anymore in that moment in the game. It's clear foul on Johnny. Can't be in. So there were more mistakes. Fall on Rasmus Højlund in the box, not given. The penalty taken, are given, what's later on reject. And I think it's not offside.
Are you, at the moment, you have quite a few new faces at the club. You brought in some more faces this week. Is it going to take a little while before you can get that consistency? You've won 2, you've lost 2. You need to get more consistent.
Yeah, if you only look at the result, it's true. But I look more in how we step up. And if you see from the Wolves game into this game, you see absolutely big progress. I think there was tonight, there was a team. Played very well, very compact, was very good on the ball as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with this performance and with the progress in our performance in a lot of head moments of the game.
Is it frustrating then, Eric, when you lose a game, that you then have to say goodbye to your players, most of them, because it's internationals?
It's always difficult, yeah, and that's why I said after the game, we did well. We make progress, and you stick to the plan, have to believe, then you will see. We will, in the future, we will win games like this, but you have to take as you deserve it. Now, yeah, we have to say goodbye, stay fit, win your games, get back, and we will continue.
Quite happy with the performance, but perhaps when he looks at Manchester United's away record in the last 14 games against the teams that finished in the top 9 last season, they've lost 13 of them, they've drawn 1, they haven't won a single one. 1 point from 42. That was at Spurs. They're actually 2-0 up in that game as well. You're shaking your head profusely, Peter.
I mean, I understand when you come out after a game and it's not gone your way, and you think you're in the process of building something, that you say things, you know, like you use words like progress and happy with performance, and but I don't think there's too much to be happy about today, if I'm honest. I think started way too deep, and right from the beginning, giving the initiative to Arsenal. That also, for me, comes from the lineup, the 11 that he picks to play. I think, I've mentioned this before, there's a couple of players in there that are not suited for the way that he wants to play the game. He wants to play nice football as well. And in order to play nice football, like we saw Arsenal, we've seen Liverpool do that, we saw Brighton yesterday, you have to have options on the ball all the time. But the team doesn't have that. And it should worry him a little bit. He doesn't talk about that. But I understand, you know, he hasn't got many options now in the next 10 days to communicate with his players. So this is an interview where he come out and send messages to his players. They're going away on international break. And what he said to them there is he's quite, you know, happy with the results didn't go that way, but if we keep progressing and we keep performing like that in the future, we will games like this.
Interpretation of his current team?
Well, judging on what we've just seen there, 1 point out of the last 42 or whatever it was, then now I can understand why he was reasonably pleased, because if you're judging it on the performance over the last few games, then OK, it's been all right, but that's not Manchester United. It's not good enough for me.
I think that Man United are not a million miles away. Obviously, we're seeing Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire's not left yet. But I think they're just probably a couple of players, a proper midfielder, a central defender, away from kicking in, because they're just too good. They're too good to not be doing what they're doing. You look at Garnacho, future. So I don't think they're a million miles away, Man United.
OK, you're going to give us one more smile before we go?
Of course I am, man.
You two going for a nice glass of wine and a bit of a debrief?
Yeah, we will do, yeah. We'll just debrief this.
Yeah, OK. Listen, gentlemen, thank you very much for all your company. A significant day and victory for Arsenal. And Rice, echoing exactly what you said right at the start of the day.
Well, I think that, and Pete will know it as well, if you're trying to build a championship run, and you're chasing down a Manchester City, your home games, no matter how early in the season they are, it's vitally important that you win them. Away from home, obviously, you want to try and get a draw or win, but at home, if you're in the top four and got those aspirations, you have to win those games. That's what I said at the start. I think it's a must-win game, especially with Manchester City winning. You have to just stay amongst it as long as
one of the reasons for that is you build a castle. You build a castle and it's can't say it.
Impregnable.
Impregnable. You cannot get into it. So when a team gets there, they know that it's going to be difficult. And it's not because the games are then going to be easier, but it makes it easier for you to win once you build that reputation. And of course, we know with Man United, for instance, the theatre of dream, Old Trafford was always their fortress, always. And all of a sudden, it wasn't. Now teams are not afraid to go to Old Trafford anymore. And that's what you have to build. You have to build that castle that is yours. So when you come and visit us here, you get nothing. Absolutely. Yeah. And then the away games are always a little bit harder. That's where it sounds like you're easing up on your home game, but you're not. But that's where you fight and get that little bit extra. And you have to match Man City. That's it. That's why you have to. If you're Arsenal, thinking that you should have won the league last year, then you have to match what they've done and what they're doing.
Just to back you up, City only dropped 5 points at home last season. So that's just a little drawbridge maybe today for Arsenal's capital. So, just a quick word on Declan Rice. How big a moment could that be, the record signing with that fee and all the rest of it so early into his Arsenal career?
I don't care who you are, to feel settled in your new surroundings, to have that price tag around your neck in many ways. It just makes it feel so much better when you score a big goal, when the crowd sing your name, when you feel part of it. He's a great character anyway. He'll walk into any dressing room and be part of it straight away. But it just adds that little bit of, it just cements that relationship. You all of a sudden feel, right, I've contributed. Yeah. He had a good, solid game today. He's going to be an important player. It's an area of the pitch where, for many, many years since righties, since the Vieiras and the Petits, they used to dominate every team in that area. And it's been quite weak over a long period of time, but now it looks like a real powerhouse of a position for them. You were asking for Jesus to come off the bench. He'd never scored against Manchester United before. How impressed were you with his coolness and calmness here to settle it once and for all? Well, it's we're talking about a period in the game where now, you either run that into the corner, or if you get this situation, if Johnny Evans comes across like that, it helps you. But you're kind of in a situation where even if you miss that, probably going to blow the whistle. But to say, the calm nature in which he took it, he's aware of his surroundings. He knows he's coming in at pace, and Dalot, and that just kind of then it just everybody's calm now. But you want to see someone like him on that finish.
Yeah. When you talk about Declan Rice getting a lot of confidence from that goal that he scores there, coming off injury and all that, that's gonna send signals to the Premier League now, and other teams are going to be a bit scared of that. And I think that's the sign of a centre forward as well, Steve. Imagine the emotion around that stadium, players, fans, everything, and you're running through on goal, and everybody else is, taking the deep and getting excited, but you've got the presence of mind, the coolness, the calmness to think coldly in front of goal. No, I'm going to fake to shoot. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to cut inside. Gives me the better chance of scoring. It opens the goal up. Right foot slot.
It's just that's what centre forwards do, because he's had that chance lots and lots of times. He knows how to finish it. If that was a defender running through, it'd be hit it as hard as you can, or a member of the crowd or anything. And that was just the perfect player at the perfect time to finish the game off.
And he goes one ahead of Ian Wright in the goals in this fixture in the Premier League. Sorry, Wrighty, you were smiling.